Good evening, Flexies, or good afternoon, depending where you are watching this in the part of the world. I am now international officially, so I get to watch, and it's not just good morning, it's good afternoon or good evening, mate, right? I'm Chris Erics. If this is the first time that you've been on, welcome to Flex the Truth podcast. I have a very, very special podcast today that I've been waiting for a couple of weeks to put this together with two of the most unbelievable, courageous women, and not just women, but human beings that you'll probably ever come across in your lifetime. I was privileged and blessed to speak on stage and share the stage with Madyson Marquette, which you're going to hear in a little bit, in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. Got to hear her story where it just made me stand up. It made me angry. It made me sad. And then in the end, it made me happy. Then I got to meet her wonderful cohort in England in a very, let's say, precarious situation. It was very late and she had knickers on, as you call them. And I was just being baby Trump. I was just doing me, behind Madyson and dancing. And I wanted to freak Claire out. I'm not going to lie. And I was going in and out like 4D, 5D, like that she was on LSD or something. So I was definitely being a goofball, but, felt real comfortable with her, to even do that. So I get to have them on my show. Again, Claire is from the UK, so it's pretty late over there. I think they're 7 hours ahead of us. And then obviously Madyson Marquette. So are you ladies there?
Hi.
Here. Hi.
There's Claire Hawking. And then where's Madyson?
Hi. Can you
There's
see me? I don't know.
Madyson
You can hear me,
Marquette.
right?
I can hear you. I can hear you loud
Okay.
and clear.
I can see myself on the thing.
You can?
Yeah.
Well, that's
I don't know
good.
if you can't see me.
I can see you.
Okay.
And I
can see you too.
I can see Claire too.
I can
So
see you
Pop it
too,
up.
Chris. But
So-
it's not the same because you're not dancing like a
I
rock
know. I'm so casual. I'm so like chill.
I know.
This is
It's
as
weird.
chill as you'll ever see me, right? But we're gonna kick it up a notch here. I know Madyson's story. I really don't know Claire's story. So let's start with Claire. Claire, tell the Flexies who you are, what you're about, and what you're currently doing now.
Right. Who I am, I'm a British girl, great British birth, and I started this journey probably in my 30s correctly. That was probably when I really got stuck into it. When I'd made sort of my business where I wanted it to be, I put a lot of my effort into getting people off the streets, ex-military, anyone that got drug addiction or rape victims or anyone with abuse or anything like that. And then it took me down a journey which I didn't expect. I started researching into drugs because I kept realizing there was piles and piles of heroin in the UK. It was crazy. And then I realized then that the royal family were involved in that. So that was a big pill to swallow because a lot of people didn't believe it because they eulogized about them. So I went down that road, and then I realized then there was also satanic cults attached to the royals as well. So it went from there, and I'm probably going to get shot after this. Joke, by the way. But the thing is, I am in the UK, and I have called them out on what they're doing, and now a lot of people are awoken, let's say. But I ended up going into a situation where cases came to me that were abuse cases, and some of the cases were satanic abuse, which was completely out of my remit because I'm used to dealing with different things. So from paedophilia, it went through to satanic occult cases, and I met somebody that was involved, ex-military, that had trained for 7 years to help people recode their brains from when they've been in cults. So he and she helped me, and from there I ended up where I am today. And then lo and behold, I met Madyson, which was the best journey I've ever been on, actually.
Don't lie.
So it's like finding my sister. I mean, obviously I'm the older one, but it's like amazing. She's funny.
What do you do now, though? What do you do now, Claire?
Well, at the moment, I've been trying to, there's trafficking organisations in the UK,
Right.
but I am not keen on them. I won't say which ones they are because HSBC backed them. So that really tells you everything you need to know, because that particular bank is not for me. So I don't really want to be involved with anything like that. So I'm at the moment, I've spoken to some Navy SEALs, retired, that are quite high ranking, and also a couple of retired Navy SEALs that are on, they've got their own program and their own channel, and they want to be involved in going forward. So we are at the moment looking at the next step, which will be training, which I'm going to come over, aren't I, Madyson, to you. You're organising that side of it, and then we're looking at funding, and we're going to set this up in the UK. So it's something that's not got anybody that can yank its chain, and it can't be, how can I put it? It's going to be crystal clear and nice. So it's going to be what it should be, which is about saving the children.
Amen.
And not anything else, because
Not
so
about
many
the money, not about the money, not about the prestige, not about the fame, not
I
about
don't
the
take any money from
movies.
anybody.
Right.
Grace, I pay for everything myself. I get Madyson and I'm not saying there's not other people like that, but we had that agreement when we met. Both of us said it doesn't feel right. You know what I mean? And we point people in other directions if they want to make a donation to something like the children, but we don't take anything ourselves, because it just gets called on you, and there's no point. We've got to keep it crystal clear. And the whole point is that every single person I know in the UK that's ever been in hierarchy to do with the government, to do with anything that's major, or anything to do with the royal family, everything they do is just farcical, because they talk a load of bollocks. It's nothing. They're all corrupt. Completely corrupt. And the House of Lords has got to go, and will be going. They're just snakes, a lot of them. They're all satanical snakes.
Do you believe that, and you know, in my 3 years, going on 4 years, it's almost 4 years now, wow, that I've been woken, that Princess Diana, number one, knew what was going on.
She did.
Knew what the royal family was. I mean, I remember that video where there's a naked boy hanging outside of the window of Prince, okay, right? And he drops. And there's all police, and they turn around like he doesn't exist.
I remember that video. But that's the thing, it's like the 501c3s here, they're just as corrupt like that in the UK. So that's why Claire's like, no, we're gonna do things right, we're gonna make things transparent, we're gonna make things good, you know.
Can I be honest with you? Her Diana's butler lived in I live in a village, let's say, which is to do with the Grosvenor Estates, in a farm, and Diana's butler, Paul, lives up the road, who was ruined by the press and ruined when he'd done nothing wrong. They twisted he's never told me, because he's not allowed to, he's got an order on him, probably for more reasons than you think, but he's not, that man is a bloody saint. I'm telling you, she trusted him implicitly.
Like Dodi Fayed. Yeah. I believe she's alive. I've seen her. I mean, I've seen her at her Trump rally. I mean, if it's not her, well, I mean, it has to be her. And I'll show you guys the video and picture. But I truly believe she's alive. I believe Trump actually facilitated that. And just that whole car wreck, how it was split in half. If you can run, I got ran offside the road in a BMW. My car did not split in half.
No.
I've got at the moment, I mean, I've just gone through them this morning and sent them to the right people. There's nearly 420 cases of satanic abuse to do with people from this country and Europe that are in government. They've gone now, because I don't keep them. I get them, they've come off a server of somebody else I know in the area. I go and download them off their server. Nothing to do with me, it's not in my home. And then I drive them and take them to individuals that take them to the right people then to research them. These buggers in the UK, they're going down. I can assure you. And I know that our job, your job, all of your jobs and ours, is to do Jesus's work. And we are here to do that job, because none of us are frightened.
No. And you're right, Claire. And you know, I'm going to say this, and I say it all the time. I don't care who it offends. I don't care. I'm not here for your feelings. I'm not here to cuddle you. I'm here
Yeah.
to tell you what you need to hear. If you are on the worldwide scope, if you are on the worldwide platform, that means a politician, a famous chef, a
Yeah.
famous celebrity, a famous athlete, you are part of Freemasonry, part of Knights Templar, the Illuminati. To me, Freemasonry is the umbrella of everything, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so you have to. And by you doing that, that's the pedophilia that comes in. That religion, here's his secret, guys. Freemasonry, even though it hides behind charities, right? And all
Mega
the
churches.
good, right? All the donations and everything they do for the children. Come here. You know what their secret religion is? Satanism.
Yeah.
At the
Absolutely.
33rd, right? That ritual is where they tell you Lucifer is light and
The-
God is no good.
Mm.
And so you go through all these rituals and they choose who they want. So your Adeles of the world, your Bruce Springsteens, your Doris Days, your Marilyn Monroe, all those people, Freddie Mercury's, all of them are involved in it.
Yeah.
And that's what we have to understand, is that the people we revered, the people that we role modeled, the people that we bought concert shirts and went to see them and idolized them,
Yeah.
they're the ones that have taken our children. They're
You
the
know,
ones that are destroying our world.
they are, but you're very brave standing out. And the thing is, with all of us, I mean, I can speak clearly. I've not led a blameless life of things I've done, as in a bit of a wayward and used to go clubbing and blah, blah, blah. But what I mean is, I know that how I feel about this, and I will never turn back from this journey ever, not until the last ones are brought down.
I said this 6 months ago, and I'll say it again. I'll pledge. I'm here to give up my life.
Yeah.
For God.
Yeah.
I wear the armor of God every single day. I do not fear anything other than God. I do not kneel to anybody,
Yeah.
anything other than God, Jesus Christ. That's it. And so if my time is now, then it's now. But
Absolutely.
I believe that we were made in this time, you, Claire, you, Madyson, myself, and others, to be battle tested for the spiritual war. And everything that we had to go through, and you're going to hear Madyson's unbelievable story here in a minute of persecution and you name it, but you're going to see why she's not timid, why she's not shy, why she's so courageous like Claire. You know, they can't put us down. They can't take our souls.
No.
You know?
Do you know, you noticed something about all of us before we came on, which is just a few minutes, and I've never met you before, have I? It's
other than him dancing.
The way, well, apart from you dance, yeah, which you did dance really well, to be fair, for 4 in the morning. I have to say, have you noticed that we all are, yes, we're anchored in Christ, but we all smile and laugh. And the satanic cults, they've not got anything on us because we love each other. We just love being around people that want to do the right thing.
So remember I was telling you about my last name, Eric's? So you know what gematria is, right? So they put my name in gematria, Chris Eric's. You know what it came up? Radiate love.
Oh,
you've done a lot of that.
And that's how we're going to kill them. That's how you kill evil. Not hate upon hatred, not violence upon violence.
Yeah.
Love upon hate. Love upon violence. You want to hit me? I'm going to love you. If that makes you feel better, I'm going to love you. You want to tell me I'm a white supremacist? I love you.
Can I just interject in that though? Just for the audience, because there's probably thousands of people watching this. I was asleep in bed in the UK with my duvet up like a little old granny fast asleep. And the phone goes and it's my dear sister My Yankee friends in America go, oh, she won't mind. Let's call her. It's the middle of the night. She'll be fine. So I'm lying there with a t-shirt on and no knickers. The phone goes. That's underwear, by the way. I don't know if there's a lingo difference in America. And I'm there, and all of a sudden, this guy that looks like as hot as hell starts dancing around on the camera, and I'm there underneath the duvet like that, looking at these people in the hotel room talking.
We were not in the hotel room. Don't start a rumor. We were in a
The
hotel
lobby.
We had a lobby.
We were in the hotel lobby. There was multiple people there. Chris
Yeah.
was
Watching
behind us,
Watching me.
behind me dancing. So don't
Yeah.
spread rumors. We were
Yeah,
in the
got us
lobby.
in a hotel room now.
Sorry.
Calling out.
You know, there's
Sorry.
going to be rumors spreading.
Sorry,
Like,
I apologize. It was a lobby. There was lots of people going, hello, England. So I know it was a lobby.
there was a guy named Presley and Jeff who did the
Yeah.
painting of Trump. Like, awesome people. They were there too. So, you know.
No, you had the girl behind me asking me how many beds I had.
Yeah, that rando lady. I mean, these people, you're at a Patriot conference and they're asking
You froze.
him to like
This is
go into
funny.
his hotel room. Like, what the heck is going on here?
I
I
just
frozen?
remember you spinning. All I can remember
Am I
is
frozen?
talking and just spinning round, spinning.
Am I
You
frozen?
know what? I love, no, you're good. I love getting a rise out of people.
Yeah.
I live to get a rise out. Like, the more shy you are, the more I'm coming after you. The more
Yeah.
Yeah, but
timid
if
you are-
it happened again, I'd be like that. Spin, baby, spin.
Claire be like, make it rain, make it rain.
Dance faster.
But
Oh my
you know,
God,
and
aren't you glad
that's-
Claire wasn't there? If you were on the stage, she'd be like, dance.
Woo, come on.
but you know, Claire, to what you said, that's who we are.
Yeah.
The more you
of course it is.
persecute us, the more we're gonna smile. The more you tell us we offend you,
Yeah.
the more we're gonna smile
Yeah.
and tell you we love you.
Chris, I got to tell you, on Telegram, I said this on another show, Claire and I did. She had posted a video of her falling out of a hammock. And so then I posted a video of how to get into the hammock like the right way. So her and I were like making fun of each other on Telegram. We got more hate on that video because we were just laughing. I'm
Yes.
like, you people cannot. I mean, there was, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of lovely people on
Yeah,
Telegram.
there's a lot of love.
Right.
There's a lot of love, don't get me wrong, but man, the haters, I'm like, seriously, you're hating on a hammock video.
You know
They
why?
can't stand the joy.
That's
The-
it. They can't stand other people having that joy. How many
Yeah.
times, you know, we talked about love a little bit.
Mm, mm.
And so we'll go to the love, we'll go right now. We'll hit this, you know, because Claire, you hit on this. You know, we all want to be in love. You know, we all watch those movies, right? And we're like, oh,
I know.
right?
Your heart goes,
Your heart pounds, you're crying. You know, I'm sitting there, I got tears coming down my eyes, and I'm like, I want that. I want that, right? And then we're like, it doesn't exist. It just doesn't exist because people like us, sweethearted, give you the shirt off our back, do anything for you. We give you so much of us, and we ask for nothing in return.
mm,
9 times out of 10, we have, you know, the wolves in sheep's clothing that betray us. For me, it's betrayal.
Yeah.
Me,
I hate that's what it is for me.
straight up betrayal. I could, you know, I could sit here and go boom, boom. I mean, I built an organization, my network marketing company. I pray to God you guys are watching this right now because you'd be ashamed of yourselves, where I saved their marriages, where I became godfathers of their children, where I took them from the corporate world, made them financially free so they could be home with their family. And when it came time where they needed to be there for me, they ran away. And there was no argument, there was no fight, there was no conversation. There was, you're blocked. Don't ever turn around. I don't care if you're on fire in the street, I wouldn't pee on you. And that sense of betrayal for me goes so deep, but I still love on people.
Yeah.
Because I believe that one of a kind love is out there where you want to put your arm around somebody. not because you feel like you have to, just because you want to.
It's the urge, isn't it? It's
Right?
the urge.
Yeah, like you just want to cuddle somebody because you want to, right? You want to sleep on the phone with them because you want to. I always say, you know when it's the right person when you don't feel like you have to. It's when you
Exactly.
want to. And that's when you know, and that's how we are together. We do this not because we have to, but because we want to.
Right.
And Claire, you were talking about love, and I'd love for you to share, because I think that was so powerful what you said in the beginning about you, if you would be kind enough to share. I know it's kind of intimate, but I don't care.
It's just everybody, for me, when you have got the right person, like my mum and dad were amazing. It's having somebody that you take the world on. If you're going to go into battle, I don't mean literally, but whatever, that person's by your side, no questions asked. You don't have to say, oh, you don't have to explain yourself. They just believe in you, and that is the thing. And that's so many people.
And you don't have to tell them to come along. You turn and they're right there. They're right there.
Yeah.
You're not saying, hey, why aren't you in this battle with me? You turn as you're fighting. You're like, oh my gosh, you're right here.
You're in battle together.
My parents, my mum married my father at very young. I mean, she met him at 17, married him straight away, and they were married until she was 74 and he passed away. And I swear they they run businesses together, but had a great relationship. And it's very hard to find that, you know.
Yeah,
and they really were passionate about each other, really passionate. It was them against the world, you know. It was them. And my sister and I, it was like, this is it. We still are like that, but we've not got mum and dad. But you know, when you've got that, that's pretty perfect, really.
Yeah, I love that. Love, like you two against the whole world. And whether you find that in a romantic relationship, in a platonic relationship, in a business relationship, no matter what relationship, it's so powerful.
It is.
It ignites you. It ignites you to do more.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely.
That's our next project once we've saved the world. Help save the world.
Well, Chris, haven't you heard about the dating thing that Claire's going to do with Jeff?
I know.
And me?
I'm not doing it. I'm just going to be one of the leaders. I'm not going to be in the dating. I'm sorry.
You're not going to
No,
be.
you're not in the dating. You know.
You have to be, right? Isn't it you, Jesse, and Maddie?
I'm the judge.
She's married.
Oh, if you're the judge, I'm the judge. I got to be the male.
You're too young. You look too young to be a judge. In fact,
I've got the male discernment. Hello. I
feel like this is just going to be a you know what show.
A wolf a mile away.
Ugh, seriously. See, my picker's off when it comes to men, though. I can't. If I like them, it's probably there's something wrong.
So don't worry. I'm coming out to America. She's going to be fine. We're going to work together on that one, aren't we?
Oh my gosh, that's hysterical. So Madyson, I got to meet Madyson, and honestly, one of the biggest surprises in 2021 was Madyson Marquette, because I'd never heard of you, Madyson, which is crazy. I'd seen you like on a podcast, but didn't listen to you because I didn't know your story. And I remember Kirsten coming up to me saying, hey, I remember when I knelt down and I met you. She's like, hey, Madyson's going to need somebody to bring up. I'm like, okay, whatever. I'll bring her up, whatever. I didn't know what you were doing. And then obviously before you went on, I could see how you were. You were a little bit anxious and nervous. I could feel that in your vibe and your energy. Thank God I got to help out with the mic.
Yes.
Give you a hug, give you some, words of encouragement. And then I just went down and sat at that table and I literally went through every emotion a human can go through. I remember the one time I even stood up, you said something about, I know, the Patriots here, the men, that was the only man that stood up, by the way. I just want to say that. But I stood up so fast, I was so angry. And I literally, during your speech, wanted to hit people. Like I was literally that angry that people we trusted, people that we revered. Oh, and by the way, which Madyson is going to bring up here, not only chefs, not only entertainers, not only athletes, not even politicians, but yeah, the Omega pastors. Like I've called out from day one. And I've been calling out Todd White from Dallas. Todd, if you're there, if you're not part of the Illuminati, come on my show and prove me wrong, because the evidence and research I have done says otherwise.
Yeah.
And you're from Pennsylvania. People have told me, probably 8 to 10 people, that I am you, Todd White. But let me tell you something. I am not you. I have a pure heart. You do not.
Yeah.
I just had somebody.
I can tell you. Did you freeze again? You froze.
Yeah. Hold on. I just had somebody go to his church and said felt so evil inside of there. Couldn't even get to him. And so I have reached out to him several times. Obviously he hasn't gone back to me. So I want to lead in with that with Madyson Marquette. Maddie? Where'd Maddie go?
I'm not sure. I'm just, is she not
She
there?
disappeared.
It was probably all.
Going to come back. But anyway, with Todd White, you know, you're going to hear other pastors. But I have said, this is my feeling. I've done a lot of research. I've done a podcast, which I will redo again because it got taken off, on all the pastors. Kenneth Copeland, Todd White's in that, T.D. Jakes is in that. You know, I don't know if you know about this, Claire and Maddie. T.D. Jakes' designer, Don Morphy, for clothing is my designer.
Right, no.
In Texas. And so we've had a conversation, him and I, and he's like, you can't put that up. And I said, you can't tell me what to do. And so, you know, when I sit here and I tell people about the mega pastors, the Joel Osteens, and a lot of them are in Dallas, and I truly believe in my heart, that's why God's bringing me to Dallas.
It's rife over there, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, you got DJ, you got Joel Osteen, you got Todd White, you got those 3 evil monsters right there.
Yeah.
Oh, we lost Madyson.
Yeah, she just said you've been kicked out. She wants to try and get back on. I don't know what happened. I think we know what. We always have these problems when it comes to talking about cults. It's as though they're down on the energy.
There?
So yeah, sorry guys, I called from my phone. My internet just went down there. So
Oh, okay. So I was just talking about Todd White, and I said, you know, I wonder if that's why that prophet told me, because I thought I was going to move to Florida. I've had Florida.
Yeah.
And then she goes, that's funny. I got Dallas in Florida.
I can tell you, listen, these pastors will come on your show if they're innocent. Todd White will come on your show if he's innocent. It's just like Mike Erie and all these other pastors. You won't come at me because you're afraid if you come at me. And now other women are coming forward. So the same thing will happen with Todd White. If you're innocent, then prove us wrong. But none of them are coming at us. Not one. It's crazy.
No. And
I asked the Queen to come on. Oh, sorry, I can't. Can you? She's exposed.
But I believe, Maddie, I believe that's why God's bringing me to Dallas.
Yeah.
Because of the T.D. Jakes, because of the Joel Osteen, because of the Todd White.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't know who else, what other mega pastors are in Texas other than those are the 3 big ones, right? But I believe that is for me to expose and expel demons.
Yeah.
Well, I think that these churches are going to fall and they're going to need someone to lean on, you know, and so God's probably taking you to Texas because it's like, okay, now people like the church is this is going to be a blow for a lot of people when these churches fall, and they're going to fall. And here's the thing too, you know, Matthew McConaughey's trying to run for governor in Texas. Like, come on, you know what I mean? They are trying so hard to, I've said this a million times, to hang on to Texas because it's a conservative state. And like, think about how much has gone on in Texas. These mega churches are stationed in either Texas or in California. So it's kind of crazy. So,
which is quite strange, isn't it, with all the trafficking going on? I wonder if it's all linked.
It is.
But the trafficking is going on.
No, the joking. That was my British humor. Humor.
Humor.
It's my humor.
Yeah, I mean, I, you know, personally, you know, number one, just because of the children, but you're using Christians, you're trapping Christians, you're taking God and denouncing God and talking about little God, Lucifer. So when you see Joel Osteen, you see the TD Jason, you see the Todd Whites and the Joyce Meyers, man, she looks like the Joker. Okay. When you Kenneth Copeland's and the Rick Warren, we can go on and on and on. They're not talking, they're like, Chris, they're talking about God. No, they're not. They're talking about little G, God. They're not talking about Jesus Christ, our Savior.
Think about what they've done though, how, you know, how they've infiltrated all the churches and everything. If you look at what they've done, it's a win-win for them, because the fact is, if they lose members, then they've become atheists as such, you know what I mean? And then if they keep them, they're paying for the cause anyway. So, I mean, they've been very clever how they behave, which is exactly how demonics work, don't they? They're very crafty how they do things.
And, you know, people say, well, Todd White heals. Okay. He does, but it's not.
The devil can heal too, though.
I was just going to say, it's not godly anymore. It's not godly.
But you know what? We don't go to their camp, do we, Chris? Do you know what I mean? You don't see Christians going, oh, let's go undercover. Let's go into Satan's camp and then we'll pretend. Do you see what I mean?
No.
Do we?
No.
Right.
No, absolutely not. And, you know, Freemasonry is witchcraft.
God,
what they do. That's the rituals. You know, I'm going to tell you something. This blew my mind. I was sitting here talking to somebody, and I want to talk to Jessie about this more in depth, but she's like, you know, the rituals that they would perform would be like, say my niece came over and we were making cookie dough, right? Making cookie dough. We're making cookie dough. What happens after a while? Cookie dough starts getting thicker, right? Hard in the churn, right? So now you gotta stab it. So now that's a ritual. They're teaching the child a ritual while they're doing cookie dough.
Crazy.
And now you walk in and you're like, oh, look at you and your goddaughter are doing cookie dough. Meanwhile, I'm getting her ready for a ritual. So it's right in front of our eyes. We don't even see it, or we do see it and we don't, you know what I can't, calm down. Do you know what I can't stand with people?
Come on.
I cannot stand when they're like, oh, well, they put a sign up, but, you know, maybe it was like rock on forever or surf's up, dude. I go, really? Really? You honestly think that all these people were putting up rock on, dude? That's what you think. You think the president was putting it up? You think the politicians were putting it up? The entertainers were putting it up? I mean, are you like, you're telling yourself, wait a second, I see it.
Yeah.
But no. And then you see another sign and you're like, you know, like the okay, like this, okay. No, that's 666. Well,
exactly.
You know, and people go, I go, okay, so I'm a Hollywood star. I could take any picture I've ever taken. I've taken as a model and dancer millions of photos, right? Do you know how many times I've taken a picture of Okell? Never.
Sure.
Never. Do you never know how many times I've taken a picture with my? Never.
But that's exactly it. And these pastors are doing it. These surfers are doing it. These people that are doing it. And it's like, and the one eye, like symbolism.
What's that one, though? I've
You are
seen this a lot for people.
literally.
What's that one?
Which one? What?
We do this a lot in the UK.
This.
Which one?
I don't know what that one is. But that's the
this?
thing. It's like the symbolism will be their downfall. And no one wants to talk about that because it's like, oh, well, you can't just judge them on the symbolism. Okay,
This
fine. I'm not.
means
Then
Viral.
let's look at
This
everything
is-
else that they're doing.
This is the Viral Society, the Lizard
Yeah.
Society, the Black Guy Club,
Yeah.
the Black Guy Club, Viral, not peace,
Yeah.
Viral. But
Yeah.
you're right, Madyson. You know, they're you know, like you had the surfer Kelly, what's his name, the professional.
Yeah, Kelly Slater. And just so you
Yeah.
all know, he sent me an email or a Facebook message and I blocked him, but I'm like, you know, I'll say it here. Kelly, let's see your bank accounts and let's see what's really going on at your camp. I'll take everything I said back if you let us come in your camp where these boys are, and then you show us your bank statements. You can fuck off. Oh, sorry. Can I say that?
Yeah, you can. Yeah.
I mean, like, seriously, don't come at me because now you're exposed and because now maybe I'm cutting off your supply by outing you. Don't send me a message and tell me, if you're going to sue me, let's go to court.
Yeah.
You want, like,
Can't see you in
no
an
one
email.
else is suing me, but you're trying to intimidate me. But discovery would come into play. You're trying to intimidate me, and you know what? These pastors and everyone else and their pastors' wives that tell me I'm messing up their bank accounts and everything else. It doesn't work. Okay, so you can threaten me or send me a message or whatever, but if let us come into your house and let's see what's really going on. The same with the churches, the same everything else. Let us come in with our own team. You don't get to be there, and let us tear it apart to see what's really going on.
That's it.
They won't.
No, they won't. If you have nothing to hide, be forthright.
Yeah.
Show it. Put it out on the table. Here
Well,
it
that's
is.
the thing, though, isn't it? Because Madyson and I were talking yesterday, and I've been financially helping people out that are sort of through Telegram that have lost the way, they've got no money and stuff, and helping them get deposit for houses and stuff and different things. I was telling Madyson about it, and she's been helping people. You know, when you're not, I know it sounds crazy, but I know what I normally earn, and I am like really on my uppers at the moment because I'm giving everything away to other people. So for anybody that thinks that you're working, Freemasonry and all that, and you're getting accused of it, I'm thinking, well, we must be the poorest ones out there because
Right?
all our money is going elsewhere to other people.
Well, here's what they can't buy us. They can't buy us. They can't buy our souls. There's not enough money that I would take, that I know Madyson would take, that you would take, Claire, that is more important than saving the children. It's more important than saving humanity. There isn't a price. Put a price on it. $1 billion, trillion, what? If I had a choice, I'm choosing saving humanity, and I'm choosing saving the children.
Can I say,
Absolutely.
I just want to share something. My father died, and this isn't a morbid thing, by the way. It's something lovely because my dad was a proper legend. But when Dad passed away, my sister and my mum and I were next to him when he passed away at home, and it was just like, all I can say to you is that I remember thinking how rich he was to have everyone he loved around him. And the thing is that's important is that after he passed away, I remember thinking, you've got to make a difference in this world for everybody, because that's the only riches you need.
That's it. That's it.
Well, absolutely. But you know what's crazy? These people with their money, these surfers and everything else, like, or the pastors, are you donating to any anti-trafficking? Any of them? Like there's not one of them, and I could be wrong, okay, because I don't know where they've sent their money or whatever, but
Yeah.
you're not talking about human trafficking, you're not combating human trafficking, you're not talking about modern day slavery. Why? You are the church. This is a prevalent thing here in the US as well as the UK. Why are you not talking about this, and why is your money not going to that? Because if you're telling us to tithe to your church, you should be tithing to something. Where's your money going? Where are you tithing to?
Right. Yep. I love that. I love that. And you know, Madyson and I, we had a great conversation because you know I have those shirts coming out, which you saw. Claire,
Yeah.
did you get to see them? The ones I designed?
No, I just saw your
children.
pets and your guns dancing around. I didn't see anything else, to be fair.
I didn't send it on Wankers. All right, I'll send it to you. But I designed these shirts
Right.
as a handprint. Has Help the Children.
Oh, lovely.
And on the fingers it says STOP, stop, or no, help, HELP. And so on the back it says stolen children, stolen dreams.
Mm.
And so I want to sell them. And what I want to do is if I say, hey, look, a percentage of this is going to go towards human trafficking, I have to know that it is, because
Yeah.
we know out there, right?
How it goes.
I even talk, that is not the case. So guys and girls, listen to me now. When you are putting money towards human trafficking, child trafficking, be very, very, very careful. Know who you are supporting. What does that mean? Don't look at the name. Don't look at the fame. Don't even look at the organization. Look under.
Yeah.
Let them, are you going to get something in return that says you are contributing? Because
I agree.
Madyson and I talked about this. Madyson said, not only can I contribute, but not only will it help end child trafficking.
Yeah.
Me, this is the most important. And I don't see anybody else doing this. But the aftercare, once the survival care, once they get the children, that money will go to fund that. So what you're in essence doing is you're really helping the child survive. You're giving the care to the child. And that's what I'm going to put my money towards. That's what my link is going to be on my website. I already talked to Madyson about that. And Claire, now you'll hear. And I am going all in with that, because I feel that what they're about, that's going to be the cleanest, that's the word, or the purest, because fame and fortune always gets in the way of doing
That's
good.
the problem. It certainly does.
Yeah.
It does.
Their egos then, don't they? Their egos grow. And
Yep.
some people start out with good intentions, don't they? You've got to admit they have. And then
I think they do. This is what I feel. I feel people have a good heart. They start out with good intentions. And down the road, they got to raise money, because everything takes money.
Yep.
And so they try to raise it the right way, the purest way possible. And then I believe there comes a fork in the road.
Yeah.
And they got to say, my dream is going to die, or I got $250,000 check over here from Joe Schmo.
Yeah.
What you don't know is that $250,000 check from Joe Schmo is Lucifer's money.
Exactly.
And now you took that $250,000 check, you're set up, you're good to go, but now you just invited Lucifer in.
Well, this is the thing, isn't it? Because it's not just about seeing the bank accounts, it's seeing the the way the business is built behind it, because all these people are saying, oh, it's clean money. Yeah, how many times has it been cleaned, and where did it originally come from? Do you know what I mean? We all know that money gets cleaned all over the world, and then they say, oh, it's clean money. Well, it's not clean, is it?
Yeah, clean laundering money does not mean it's clean.
No, right.
You know what I mean? Laundering money does
Well,
not
that's
mean it's
exactly. Well, you can't like say, oh, my money, just because I'm not child trafficking, but I'm doing this, the money's clean. That you can't, you know.
It's like snobbery, isn't it? It's a snobbery between the well, we're not traffickers, we're gun laws
happen that way.
right. Gosh, we keep losing Maddie.
I know.
Where is she? Is she in Texas?
Don't know. But you know, going back to that, Chris, you know, I had a situation the other day where somebody offered me a very large amount of money to set up anti-trafficking in the UK.
Sorry, guys.
And I said to them that, oh, well, I'd need to see your bank accounts and where the money came from. And they said, well, the money's clean. And I said, well, I'm sorry, but I'd need a lot more information than that to go to my lawyers, and then we could look into it. And they said, oh, don't worry about the money. It's 5 times cleaned. I said, well, that
5 times clean. So it's 5 times dirty.
Exactly. I went, boom, I end the conversation.
Sure.
Sorry, this is not
Yeah.
for me. You're okay.
Yeah. But look at what you did. Most people, right, would be like, wait a second. I need this money. I'm doing a good thing. And what they do, think about this. Just like when they see signs and they pass it over, right?
Yeah.
Or they're watching videos, music videos, and they're watching it. They're watching the devil. I mean, Match.com with the devil, hello, that was probably the biggest eye opener. Nobody's talking about it. Nobody.
I didn't even know that. Is that true? I didn't know that.
Oh, it's Satan with a woman on Match.com, and her name is.
Oh, I saw that.
20.
Wow.
I'm going to
Disgusting.
do a whole podcast and rip that whole commercial apart, because nobody's talking about that. But it's right in front of your face. It's a commercial. You're entertained to death. And that's what happens with the money. It's the same exact thing. You talk yourself, well, I'm doing a good thing. And this is for a good cause. Okay, so the money's well, it's clean.
But that's how Clinton's got started. Isn't that how Clinton's got started? There were years ago. If you look at them, I mean, he was funded by heroin, wasn't he? Growing.
Yes, yeah.
Heroin.
That's how most politicians. That's how it starts off. Hey, here's $75,000. Can you make an introduction to such and such? I was in DC last week or the week before.
Right.
Awesome. I'm with one of the biggest lobbyists, guys partnering up with me, merchandise, right? We go to the Capitol Hill Country Club, okay? The biggest place, right? And it's Republican. He's like, you want me to introduce you to Chris Eric's baby Trump? I'm like, both, right? I was getting introduced to big people, right? But here's the difference. There was no money exchange. Where these other politicians like, hey, here's $75,000, introduce me to such and such. Okay, good.
Crazy.
And then later down the road, okay, here's $250,000. Can you invite me to this banquet? It starts off very, very, very minor.
It's got to stop, hasn't it? All that's got to stop.
Well, think about when somebody cheats on somebody. It doesn't start in bed. It starts by flirting. That little stupid, right? That little, oh, you're cute. No, you're cute. No, you, right? And then next thing you know, oh, let's get something to drink. Oh, Next thing you know, you're in the back of the car or in a hotel or in bed. And you're like, how the hell?
Well, I hope it's not the back of the car, because you're not going to get many dates, if you just take them to the back of the car.
Yeah.
Right? But you know what I mean? Like, that's it. Innocently, to what you said, Claire, it always starts out innocent, and then it just snowballs, and people don't know how to pull back, or they're so into it, and that's where they get bribed. That's where they got to do something on camera. And that's where a lot of the pedophilia and that's where a lot of the occult is, because now you got to get you on camera so that when you decide to have a conscience, we got you.
Yeah.
It's funny you should say that though. You know, you're talking about the cultism and all that. I mean, this is our backyard, isn't it? All the witchcraft and everything.
Yeah.
You know, we when you guys left for America for the shores, you took that with you. We had it. It was our job. We still got it, but then a few odd ones took it, and that's why it's over on your shores. Sadly, it's our fault.
Yeah.
That's what we produce. We you know, there's more witches in the UK than anywhere else across the world.
Wow. Wow.
It's
I didn't
crazy.
know that. All right, Maddie, your turn up. What's the story? Who are you? Introduce yourself to the world.
Sure. So I'll tell you like the short version. Obviously, my name's Madyson, and you guys saw or heard how Claire and I met and we got together. I'm actually a survivor of human trafficking. I was trafficked through the adult film industry. I was trafficked for almost a decade. Derek Hay of LA Direct Models, he's the one who owned me. Derek was indicted last year. I need to look up the month. It was like March or April, but don't quote me on the month. But he was indicted last year. And God told me right before like the scamdemic to start naming names. And so I started naming names, and like the first person I named was mega church pastor Mike Erie, and then started naming some other like actors like Tom Hanks, Jeremy Piven, and then started naming some of these mega church pastors like TD Jakes, Rick Warren, Greg Laurie, Mike Erie. And so God was just like, you got to start naming names, because this pedophilia and this human trafficking, not only with kids, but with like women and men, that it is so largely spread that we have to start bringing awareness around it and then do things to combat it. And so God's like, start naming names. And now more women have come forward to say, listen, I had similar experience, or I've had more of a horrific experience with these mega church pastors or celebrities. So God just had to start naming names. So that's like the very short version of just my story. You know, I also got to sue my traffickers. So I do have lawsuits in court. And since I have lawsuits, I got subpoenas to go testify in the military tribunals, because a lot of these people are being tried for their crimes against humanity. And, you know, these are crimes against your country, because human trafficking is crimes against humanity. And if you're crossing against state lines, it becomes a federal crime and a federal act. And so, you know, depending on who they are, it can also become a treasonous act as well. So that's just a little bit of my story. And it's kind of a lot.
Yeah, I call Madyson M squared, right? So M squared, you said 2 words.
Military
And
tribunal.
for 4 years, I've been wanting somebody to come forward, other than me, and say military tribunals, because people are like, do they exist? I don't believe them. So you're stating, M squared, for the record,
You're calling me M squared.
that you were at these military tribunals.
Yes.
And you personally testified against these people.
Yes.
Can you talk and tell them about the story of JB?
Oh, yeah. So are you on YouTube? Is this one on YouTube?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I just gotta be careful what I say so you don't get kicked off. So the acting Joey B, he came in. So I had testified a bunch of times, obviously, and he was the last one that I had to testify against. And he came in the room, and like, depending if the person was there or not, you had to identify them. And so he walked in, and I said to my attorney, I'm not going to identify him, because that's not the same person that had bought and sold meat and did horrific things to me. So I can't point to him. So her and I took a sidebar, or whatever you want to call it. And so she's like, just identifying him through the videos and pictures that were at the tribunal. So I didn't point to him, because if I were to point to him, like, are you committing a treasonous, am I committing a treasonous act? You're also committing perjury. So I'm like, I'm not going to point to this person because I know it's not like the right
So, hold on.
person.
So for the people that need a clue, what M squared is telling you, ready? Hope you're sitting down, is that the active president, Joey B., that was at the tribunal physically, M squared could not testify against that person because it wasn't him. Did you get that? Did you guys get that? It wasn't him.
Your face is
Oh my
cracking.
gosh. So there you have it. That is huge in itself, no matter what else she says. She has a book that you wrote in 2014. What is that book called?
It's called My Father's Daughter, a memoir of a porn star.
Okay, I can't wait to have that and read that. And then I'm going to list that on my website as well. What are you currently doing now?
So I work for someone and we do extractions of kids and human trafficking. And we also house them, have certain homes for them. So if we cannot find, like, if they had a parent or mom and dad, or, you know, if we can't find, they live in the homes, and then we try to educate them and get them the help and the therapy and obviously the medical care that they need. So I'm doing kind of both at the moment. And then obviously I'm doing a lot of these interviews with Claire. And then Claire and I, you know, we decided that we wanted to give people a voice, and like the women that have been trafficked, we will not do it with children because I think that children should not be exposed like that. But women or men, if they've been trafficked or want a voice. So we're going to start that here in the next couple of weeks, called Humanity's Voice, just because, you know, they need a voice too. So, I mean, kind of doing it all, but my heart beats for these babies. And just like Claire said earlier, you know, we're not going to stop until all of them are free and we can go get them, or until I physically cannot go do it anymore, because really we're battling demons here. You know what I mean? This is not real people. Anyone that harms children like this, they are possessed with a demon. I believe it. And no one's going to tell me differently than that.
Right. And
I
you're
know
right.
they are from what you've told me. I mean, I know what I've seen, but I know what you've told me after extractions and what you've seen in their eyes and how they're behaving. And the thing is, for me, I just know, I mean, I know, sorry to jump in on this, but for half my life, I was spiritual, but not really into Jesus. And now I've found the faith. I have to tell you, a lot of this would be over a lot faster if people found the faith, because it would really cut the demons down to size straight away.
Yep. 100%.
So anybody that's out there that's going, oh, it's terrible about this trafficking and the children and all that, partly, with all due respect to any atheist out there, you're complicit in this, because if you actually took your faith, you'd understand that you're saving children. So you've got nothing to lose by taking your faith in Jesus, because I can assure you, you've nothing to lose, everything to gain, and you're making our job a load easier to protect these children.
Yeah. Atheists are just stupid, vulgar people. And that comes from Freemasonry. Like, you know, that's what the Freemasons think of atheists. They laugh at atheists. So, I mean, if you got the Satanists against you, the Freemasons, why wouldn't you want to be a Christian and fight the fight, like you said, with the children and the human beings?
Right. The thing that they're doing to these kids, like, it's like people are talking about it now because they think it's trendy. What are you doing about it? You know, even like the churches and the people that we're exposing, is anyone going in there? Like, to me, I can't do it all. And I can't walk into these churches. I mean, that's a death sentence waiting to happen. Like, is anyone questioning or standing up? No, and I'm not a victim. I've not been a victim for a long time. I'm a survivor, but like, we get the hate. we get the persecution because God forbid you were fooled by a celebrity or a pastor or whatever. So no one's standing up and doing anything. Why are there survivors standing up and saying, oh, and doing the work? Like, it really just annoys me. I mean, the hate that I get, it's like crazy. I mean, another survivor came forward and talked about Kenneth Copeland, and they attacked her on Facebook, like attacked her. It's like, why are you attacking this woman? She's just saying what happened to her. You know how much courage it took for her to come forward? And now there's over 300 comments of people attacking her. It's like, attack me all you want, say whatever lie you want about me, fine. But then you attack these other women and some men that are coming forward. Like, come on, it's makes
But
me
it's
mad.
just evil, isn't it? And that's what I'm saying. From when I sometimes get attacked, and I call you up and you pray with me,
Yeah.
it's like it soothes me straight away. Yes, I can pray on my own, but it's so nice to have somebody to pray with. It soothes me, and it's literally, it's like, ooh, it's all gone. It just feels like it's gone, and my armor's back. And that's what most people that aren't into Jesus don't get. And I know, because I wasn't. So for me, I can say, look, I don't want to be rude when I say it, but I used to say, oh, Bible bashers and all that. I'm going to tell you now, I am the biggest, I was a bigot about it all. And now look at me, I've gone the other way. It's because I actually know the stuff I've seen, the cases that I've got, I know that gets me through every day. And it gets people through every day. It's really your armor.
Yeah.
And if we can do it, everybody else should do it, because I'm telling you, if anybody that's out there that's an atheist that doesn't believe me, you can be part and parcel of saving children just by picking up your armor of your religion to do Jesus, because that's all it takes for us to get rid of the demonic forces. The more light we've got, the less dark we'll live.
Exactly. Yep. I love that. Yeah. And Maddie, you talked about going to churches. Somebody like me, would I be able to do that? Would I be able to go to the church? Would I be able to extract children?
I mean, yeah, I mean, anyone can do it and you can get involved. I mean, I've been directing people to 2 different organizations. Let me make sure I say it. The first one's Global Philanthropist. I know that they take people that can help. And then the Slave Free Project. It's slavefreeproject.com, and my friend Jason, he's involved in that. So yeah, you can definitely do it if you reach out to these organizations and go. And then as far as the churches, it's like, I highly doubt they're going to let anyone go see the tunnels or whatever. So you got to infiltrate them, but we are being vocal about it. So are they going to stop doing it? Who knows? I have heard some things going on with the military and that they're coming after these churches. So I think sooner or later they're going to fall.
Yeah. And I would love to do that. That would make my heart so happy that I could do that. Number one, being abused as a child from my father, emotionally, physically. I remember running down in the basement and sleeping in a metal closet for 2 days, hiding underneath my bumper pool table, or didn't know when, the next time I was going to get whipped or beaten, or, emotionally put down. And I've been bullied my whole life. So for me to be able to go in and whether it's infiltrate, rescue children, whatever, I'd give my life for them, even one child, because one child's life is worth everything. Everything. Yeah. And what we've got to do, Claire, just listening to you and Maddie, we got to put ourselves up against the elite and the globalists. What do I mean by that? We talked about love. We talked about being with one another and being in the trenches and being in battle together. Yeah. It's got to be us. It's got to be the common man and woman versus them. We have to draw the line. If they are an athlete, I'm going to say it one more time. If they're an athlete, if they are a world-renowned chef, if they are a celebrity, an actor, an actress, an entertainer, politician, mega pastor, any of them, we draw the line, they are there, and we are here. And we stick together. Why? Because there's more of us than there is them. And if we stick together and we don't go on their side, dividing us against them and sticking up for a LeBron James or sticking up for, you know, a Gordon Ramsay or sticking up for a TD Jakes, right? And we're like, no, we're here. We're here. I'm with my people and I'm going to stay with my people.
Well, they want us
That's
divided.
what we need to do.
That's what you said it right though, to stick together, because they'll do anything to try and divide us and put us at war, because if we're at war with each other, we aren't at war with them.
We're splintered.
Madyson, we recently, we know all about this, don't we? You
Yeah.
and I? And for the short time we've been together, we're absolutely like glue. And it's crazy. They keep trying it and it just doesn't work, does it, Madyson? It's crazy what the people have tried with us.
Yeah.
Yep. When I met
do.
Madyson, I say, I go, you got me. You got me for like whatever you want. She goes, what did you say? You said,
You're stuck with me.
you're stuck with me. I'm like, done. You know, you meet that person where you have that kindred where you're like, you know what? I'm going to war with this person.
Yeah.
And that's how I felt from day one, you know, listening to her, hearing it, hearing what she's about, hearing her heart, hearing what she's doing now. She's not just speaking the rhetoric with you, Claire. She's actually doing it. You guys are
Absolutely.
you guys are putting your own money out. You're putting your own time out. You know, she has family. I know she has 2 boys, 2 lovely boys, you know. I mean, she's sacrificing that. I mean, those are big sacrifices. And for any person to put you down or to say something bad.
If we don't do this, humanity's FCU'd anyway, because they'll all be owned by the Satanists. So we've got to do this for our bloodlines going down the road, for the future generations. We need to do this. Even if we don't survive it, we have to do this. We don't have a choice. You can't unsee the things we've seen.
No. And people say, what can I do? I want to help. How about this? Stick with us. How about that? Let's start right there. Let's start right at the bottom. How about you don't go against us? Number one, that's the biggest thing you can do. Well, Chris, that's not big. No, it's huge.
Huge.
Then you start getting other people. Now you got 10 people sticking. Now you got 20. Now you get 60.
Yeah. Do you know something, Chris? If every person that watched this program from us today said, right, this week I'm going to get 2 people into the faith, into Jesus, 2 people a week, just 2.
Yeah.
Could you imagine how quickly we could get rid of the child trafficking?
Amen. So I love you said that. So a couple of weeks ago, the Lord was speaking to me and I was like, you know, I pray, right? So I do prayers on my podcast and I was like, you know, prayer warriors. I came up with God Squad.
I love that.
So on the back of the shirts, I got join the God Squad on.
I want that. I want one.
Yep. On my website, it'll say join the God Squad. And that's what I want to promote. Number one, making God famous, joining the God Squad. What's joining the God Squad? 1, giving your life to Jesus Christ. For 17 years, I've been saved 17 years, 16 years, I was in training on how to be a good Christian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The last year is when I gave everything up. When I pulled back from my MLM company, pull back where I could hardly pay my bills, did my podcast, for 7 months. I've only been everything. How long have you had your podcast? I've only had it 7 months. Been burned twice. And just totally shift my whole entire life. And be humble and almost lose everything. Or not lose it, but give it up. It's one thing to lose it,
Chris,
it's another to give it up free.
The people I'm talking to all over the world since obviously I've met you now, but the amount of people I'm talking to that are getting on the calls with us, most of them have been tested and either lost businesses or lost the money. They've really got stuck into the faith inside and everything, and they've ended up doing their best work ever. And that is the thing, when when you think about it and you get rid of all the crap that's around us, cars, all the rest of it, and you think about what's important, which is what's in your heart, what's in my heart, what's in Madyson's heart, and saving people.
That's all it is.
We've got everything we need. That we have got everything we need.
But
Yep.
you know, Jesus says when you're persecuted, you're blessed. And it's like, obviously they're going to come after us because we're stopping their supply and we're bringing awareness around it and we're doing things to combat it. Of course, they're going to come after us, you know, 110%.
Yep. And we got to end this, but we're gonna have another program. But I just want to introduce, you know, Claire and Madyson, because we're going to be working a lot together and doing a lot of things. I'm probably going to have them on next week because we want to do something together we talked about.
And my internet will be working. I apologize. It's like crazy.
Also, my puppy was barking, Chris. Next week, I'll make sure the puppy is not in the next room, barking like mad. And I'm sitting there going, "Oh, please, dog, shut up."
How can people get a hold of you, Claire? How can people help you out, donate to your cause? What can they do?
Donations at the moment, I'm not taking anything at the moment. I'm funding everything myself. That's it. And what I am looking for is the huge sponsor, but it's obviously a legitimate sponsor. That's what I am looking for. Secondly, as far as getting hold of me concerned, we've got a YouTube channel, which it's the Yank and the Great British Bird. So that one I've just set up, that one for Madyson and I together, which is going to be for the ones to do with listening to people's voices, you know, anybody that's been through trauma. So that
the
one,
email, Claire.
What, my love?
The email, I was trying to pull it up.
You do the email if you want. What to be so just as new and up. Chris, we're not.
I was trying to find it. I was trying to pull it up. Hold on a second. Sorry, guys.
We've got a new email which we've just set up, and that is, as I say, for it's called Voice Humanity at protonmail.com. So it's voice, separate word, humanity at protonmail.com. Okay, and that is, if anybody feels that they want a voice, male or female, we are happy to talk to them, and then would go on our podcast, and we will obviously take them at the pace they want to talk at things, but it would mean that they get their story out, their truth out. And it's about time that these wonderful people, this is Madyson's idea, I have to say, wasn't it, Madyson? And I was completely in awe of it. She's very inspirational, is our Madyson. Very.
Yeah, I mean,
This is not just me. This is not, it's Claire and I inspire each other, and Chris, you inspire us too. I mean, like, this isn't about any one of us. It's about these women and men that want a voice and need a voice, and no one's giving it to them.
Can I say
they
something
need that
now?
platform, and they need that safety zone. Can
I tell you something, Chris? I love you. I don't mean it like that. I mean, I don't love you. I do love you. But what I mean is, I love you. I've got a great feeling about you. You're pure like you are, and I can feel it. And I want to be working with you again, because there's just, you radiate loveliness, and I like that about you. And there's no agenda with you, and I like that about you. You've got no agenda. When Madyson phoned me and told me about you, and I was like, oh, you know, because I'm not very trusting on things like that. Yeah, my Madyson. As soon as I came on with you, everything you see is what you get with you. You speak from the heart. Oh. And I'll tell you something, you wear your heart on your sleeve like I do a bit, but you're a very decent human being. Very decent.
Thank you. I've come a long way.
With Claire.
I fell in love with Jesus Christ a year ago. So once that happened, he gave me all my blessings.
Yeah. Well, now you're stuck with me and Claire.
I know. I love it. I love it. So let's say, I just want to say a prayer real quick. We end with a salvation prayer, and, you know, look, you know, whether, you know, Madyson or Claire and myself, or all three of us, you know, maybe moved, touched, and or inspired you, you know, with the word of Jesus Christ. Look, everything you have today, congratulations. You deserve that, because the choices you made up until today, you got what you deserve. But if you're sitting there saying, you know, I want to let go of the good to get to the great, or, you know, my life's not that great, or, you know, I don't have this, I'm not radiating love like a Madyson or a Claire or Chris, and I want to be like them, and I want to love like them, and I want to smile like them, and they go through persecution, they're still smiling and loving. What we can tell you is the difference is we have Jesus Christ in our heart. So
Yeah.
today was your last day on this planet, and you're like, I really don't know where I would go. Then just raise your hand right now, just where you're sitting, and just repeat these words after me. Lord Jesus, I accept you into my heart as my Father, as my Savior, as my one and only. I ask that all my sins are washed away underneath the blood of the stone. I repent all my sins to you now, and I denounce Satan, and I accept you as my only Savior, my only Jesus Christ. I know I'm heaven bound, and I'm a child of God. Amen. If you said that prayer with me today, guess what? Congratulations. You now have a better chance of going to heaven. Now, I say that because I can't guarantee you that, but in the Bible, it says to be born again. And now you are
Yes.
born again. It is not a cult. It is means you are now born again in the spirit of Jesus Christ. And you had an opportunity, you did, to denounce Satan and accept Jesus Christ as your one and only Savior in your heart. And that's all it takes. So what do I do now if I'm a born again Christian? I tell people, go into Proverbs, read a proverb a day, start there. Listen to positive, encouraging music, Christian music. Yes, it's positive, it's encouraging. It's at the right megahertz, 432, not at 440, that disturbs your brain waves. And then the other thing is toxicity around you. Watch the people that you have around you. People that are pretending to be your friends, pretending to be your family. Yeah, pretending to be your family. You know, I've got more family than I do blood family. See, you get to choose who you want your family to be.
Absolutely.
And only you can choose. So, you know, remember, flex your mind. I always say flex your mind, flex your muscles, but above all, flex the truth. And if you flex your mind and you flex your muscles and you flex the truth, you are now aligned with Jesus Christ. And now you can go out and you can spread his will and his word with everybody you come across. Guys, hope you enjoyed Flex the Truth podcast with my guest stars, you know, Madyson, or M squared as I call them, Madyson Marquette Clare Hoy. You guys are going to see them again. We're going to do a special. I think we're going to drop the Avengers. We just talked about that. But you're going to see us working a lot together, but I want you to remember their names. Madyson, how can people get a hold of you? How can they help you out?
They can follow me. Well, Claire and I, the Yank and the Great British Bird, or, you know, my website is MadysonMarquette.com. So very simple, but we're going to be on Rumble too. I just got to set up the channel.
Okay, good. Yep.
We're building a new website at the moment for both of us, aren't we? For the survivors.
Yeah.
So they've got a voice.
Yep.
Yeah.
So guys, thank you so much. Have a blessed day.
We love you, Chris.
Love you.
Love
you
you.
in the UK across the pond. And then I'll see you guys. I'll have a blessed weekend. I'll see you next week. God bless.
Lots of love.